This is When You Were Everything, chapter Men Should Be What They Seem, pages 302 to 307. Men should be what they seem. All the days that I've missed this month were days when I didn't enter the building at all. So I'm not the kind of kid who would normally need to know how to sneak away from school, how to skip, say, one class. And I have no idea how to get out of here before the last bell undetected. I know I can't use the front door, so I head to one of the side stairwells. Some of them have emergency exits, doors that have to remain unlocked in case of fire or some other disaster. But this feels like an emergency to me. Bits and pieces of my life have been going up in flames for months, so I need to get out of here to save myself, to get away from everything that's burning. The first stairwell I check has no exit at all, and the next one has a sign that says an alarm will sound if the door is opened. In the third one, I find two people making out against the only way out, and while I'd normally pretend I hadn't seen anything and keep moving, I'm desperate. "Hey, look, I'm sorry," I say. A brown-skinned guy with curly black hair pulls away from the person he's kissing. Another guy with cornrows and a round hickey on the left side of his neck. Looks like they've been at it for a while. But you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know it by the annoyed expressions on their faces. I just need to. I point to the door behind them. They both move as one to make room for me to pass. "Thanks," I say. I don't look back, but I bet they're making out again before the door even closes. The subway isn't crowded because it's only a little after 11 a.m., so rush hour is over, and no one's headed out for lunch yet. My mood lightens a little as I fade into the bigness of the city and become just another face in the crowd. On the platform, no one is staring at me. On the train, no one knows what the kids at my school are saying about my dad. On the windy sidewalk, I'm just like everyone else, cold, busy, and on my way. I don't text him. I don't want to give him a chance to know I'm coming, or a chance to charm me with his all-caps replies. Once I get there, I skip up the library steps, 2 at a time, and head straight to the ground floor. This part of the library is never exactly quiet, but it seems oddly empty today with a riot going on inside my head. I step into the reading room, and he looks up from the computer on his desk and smiles. "Well, this is quite a surprise," he says softly. He doesn't scold me for being out of school like I thought he'd do right away. He doesn't ask why I've come, and instantly, just from the sight of his crooked glasses and bow tie, and the sound of his librarian voice, I feel the ice around my heart start to melt. I don't want to cry here, but the weight of it all comes crashing down at once. I sniff, and before the first tear falls, Daddy is out of his seat, stooping in front of me. "Baby girl," he says, "what's going on now?" I don't want to ask him, because I feel like I should know that this isn't true, not about him, that this is an evil rumor made up by someone who wants to destroy me. But I'm so unsure of everything now. Every piece of the life I knew has turned out not to be true, so I have to ask. I have to hear him say that I'm not an idiot to think I know the man he is. "Someone at school started a rumor about you." "About me?" he asks, and I watch his face closely for anything that lets on that he might know where I'm going with all this. I don't feel any twitches in his fingers which are holding mine. He isn't avoiding my eyes. "Yeah, they're saying, and I don't know if I can say it out loud. I don't know if I can speak of this in front of him." He squeezes my hand. "It's okay, Cleo. Whatever it is, we'll figure it out together. They're saying you left Chisholm because you had an affair with a student." He blinks a few times. He slips his glasses from his face, and my heart seizes. I'm no longer someone he can see clearly, and blurry daughters are easily lied to. He says, "Honey, I swear that isn't true." "Why did you leave then?" I ask. And I watch him even more closely. The second he looks down, away from my eyes, I know I won't be able to believe whatever he says next. Hun, we've been through this. It was time for a change. Your mother and I are going through a rough patch, and we thought it would be best for you if I worked elsewhere. And this is how I lose whatever's left of me. I don't ask if he's had a relationship with someone else, though I suspect, now more than ever, that Sloane wasn't lying. I just nod and say, okay. But the sight of the few freckles that dust his cheeks hurts me, because they're a reminder that I come from him, someone who lies, someone who wrecks and ruins, someone who can betray his family and keep it quiet. I turn and walk away from my favorite person, away from my favorite place, to the person I normally avoid at all costs and the place I like least, knowing that at least I can trust her to do me the small kindness of telling me the actual truth. I realize in that moment that I never actually asked my mom about what happened between them. I blamed her for the separation without knowing the truth about anything. I feel guilty about that now, but I hope it isn't too late to make things right. I don't know how I get home as quickly as I do, but the subway ride is a complete blur. After leaving the library, that line from Othello is all I can think about. Men should be what they seem. One second I'm in Midtown Manhattan, and then, suddenly, I'm in Brooklyn, walking through the cold to my apartment. The 2 flights it takes to get to my floor have never felt so long. I'm choking back tears and hating myself for the way I treated Sydney and Willa, Jace and Dom. I'm hating my father because he lied to me, and I'm already hating my mother for telling me some still unknown truth. I reach my door and push it open, and I nearly faint. I'm so distraught and overcome with emotion. I sink onto the couch and take one last deep breath. Mom? I say. My voice comes out shaky and quiet. I should have known she wouldn't be here. It's the middle of the day. But I clearly wasn't thinking. So I call her. I dial her work number instead of her personal one, and I lift the phone to my ear and wait. Naomi Bell, she answers. I guess she doesn't have my cell phone number saved in her work phone, and something about that makes me tremble. There's noise in the background, like she's at a busy restaurant, and it is lunchtime, so maybe she's meeting with a client. Mommy, I say softly. Cleo, what's wrong? She asks. And her knowing just by my voice that something isn't right tips me over the edge. A sob escapes my throat before I can stop it. Hold on, she says. I hear her excusing herself from the table. I can imagine her in a tight pencil skirt and blazer in red lipstick that matches her nails. She's a woman who still gets catcalls on the street, though she's well into her 40s. She'll tell the guys off, too. She is a force to be reckoned with, made of beauty and power and smarts. And that's why I feel like a near constant disappointment to her. I came from a storm of a woman, but I'm just a drizzle of a girl. Daddy would be a fool to cheat on her with anyone. He has to know that. Honey, what's wrong? Where are you? Are you okay? I cough until my voice works again. I don't know. There's a rumor going around at school that Daddy... I can't bring myself to say it, but Mom starts speaking for me. That he had an affair with Miss Novak? She offers. I'm so shocked at her words that I stop crying. What? I say. Is that the rumor? Is that why you're so upset? Well, it isn't true, honey, okay? He didn't do anything with her, but they were getting inappropriately close. On that word, I can hear a change in Mom's voice, a crack that tells me it hurts her to say this. That was why we decided he shouldn't stay at Chisholm. We didn't want the students to start to talk. She clears her throat, and I can see her perfectly in my head. She's probably looking skyward, the hand that isn't holding the phone bunched into a tight fist and slammed against her hip. We were trying to protect you. Oh, I say quietly. So don't listen to them, okay? If those kids are spreading some lie about your father having done something with your teacher, it isn't true. Do you hear me? I nod, though she can't see me, We can talk about it more later, she says. I'm at this lunch and it's okay, Mom. I'm sorry. But you're okay, she asks. And suddenly, armed with this new information, I'm at least a little better. I'm good, I say. See you tonight.